What's up, everybody? So I want to talk to you today about the new hero reveal that happened, and man, there's a lot to love about this new hero. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I know you can't wait to get your hands on the Ocelotl, but they are coming. But it's not all fun and games, I'm gonna tell you, because he has one of the worst tier 2 feats for a hero that I've seen. I mean, at least in my opinion. If you guys can explain to me how this tier 2 feat is actually beneficial or good, I would love to hear it. Let me know in the comments. But let's go ahead and get into it. So we're looking at the Ocelotl. He's obviously a hybrid. They said all these Outlanders that were coming, they were going to be hybrids, and this one is no different. So he has an infinite chain. Well, before we even get into that, let's talk about the death whistle. So he has the death whistle. It's an emote that you can just go ahead and let off at any time. So I love that about it. And the Ocelotl armor and weapons are on point, y'all. Is on point. Like, everything is nice about this hero. The executions, I like the executions. Man, I just love everything that they presented, at least on the surface, about this hero. As always, once we get our hands on the hero, that's when we'll really know. But let's go ahead and get into it, because I want this to be quick. I just want to get to the meat and potatoes. So let's go ahead and get started.
There we go.
Amazing.
This is really, really cool.
So when we're looking at the move set, the Ocelotl can go light, and the light finisher is 400 milliseconds. So it's very fast. They said it's very difficult to react to. So that's going to be good. They have light and then a chain heavy, so you can actually go light and a chain heavy. You can also go heavy to heavy. If you go heavy, that is a heavy finisher, and that heavy finisher will be unblockable. So remember that you can go light, heavy, and then go into your heavy unblockable finisher, or you can go heavy, and that'll be heavy then into a heavy unblockable finisher, or you can go light and then your next light will be a finisher. So that's going to be how his moveset is. And then you have zones. And one thing I like about the zones, because usually when you're using zones, when you're being ganked or whatever, of course, you're just trying to keep people off of you. And the good thing about these zones is that they are uninterruptible. Now, the first zone in the combo is uninterruptible a little later. But when you go ahead and do the zone finisher, it actually goes to the other side and it's uninterruptible even sooner. As I mentioned in the beginning, he does have an infinite chain, so you can go light, heavy, you know what I'm saying? And they said it's in the vein of Shaolin. So think Shaolin's infinite chain, that's Ocelotl. Another really cool feature about the Ocelotl is that the fact that he has an opener bash, he has a chain bash that's feightable, and he has a finisher bash. So you can actually go bash into bash. It's crazy. It's so wild. I mean, I love it. I love it. He just has so many different tools, and it looks cool. It just looks cool. I think the character just looks really cool. If I sound giddy, that's because I am. It's just so good to have options. It's good to have options. You know, I always talk about Nobu and how much I wish she had an opener, but they are doing these new heroes right, giving them all these different tools coming out the gate. Now, could we potentially see a nerf once everybody gets their hands on it? Of course, we could, but I'm just happy with what he has going into it. And he doesn't have any undodgeables. Undodgeables. Yeah, that's right. He doesn't have any undodgeables. He has unblockables. He has, obviously, the bash opener, and the feightable bash and chain. And then he has the bash finisher. Okay, that's okay. And then he has the infinite chain, but he doesn't have any undodgeables, and I like that. He doesn't need them. He does not need them. And one thing about the bashes is that they all do damage. So you're going to get like 12 damage, 10 damage, and then I think that finisher does like 28 damage. You'll see on the screen, but it's crazy. It's crazy. I love it. Absolutely love it. He has a dodge attack coming out the gate. So think Valk's dodge attack. He can dodge forward light attack with his spear and use a spear, and he can side dodge attack, and that's enhanced. So even if it's blocked, you can still continue your attack. That's always a good thing, because you can jump in a fight and just keep on going if somebody doesn't parry you, and that's the risk, especially being a light. And one of the special moves that he has the Ocelotl has is like a Nobushi dodge. And they call it like a stalker stance. And it does have dodge properties. JC did mention this move does have dodge properties. So if you use it, you just press back on that right stick and boom, you're going to have dodge properties. A really cool thing about this move is the fact that you do move faster while you're in it. But just like Nobushi's hidden stance, you cannot block. You cannot block, but you do move faster. It's meant to kind of observe on the outside of ganks, and then you can leap in with the forward dodge attack, almost like Griffin's forward dodge attack. It's really more like Scent's. Think about when Scent just comes flying in, you know, with his forward dodge attack, dodge heavy. That's the same thing that Ocelotl can do. He's just lurking on the outside, and then he could just dodge forward. You can dodge out of it as well. They did mention that. You can dodge out of it. But this hero just has so many cool tools that you can use. And you can continue your attack after it too. It's like once you hit, when he pulls the weapon out of you, it does like an additional 8 damage. That's what it was showing on the screen. But you have to remember, you cannot feint it. So once you commit to the move in that stalker stance, you cannot feint it. His out of lock attack does 16 damage. And then if you lock on right after that, you can go ahead and get a heavy finisher. And if you nail it, that's 28 damage. And don't forget, these unblockables are from any direction. You can go from the top, you can go for the left or the right. It doesn't matter. They showed 4 unique executions, and every single one of them looked excellent. Now, the one thing that they did have turned off was blood. So that's why you didn't see like blood and the heads chopping off and everything else. But in game, rest assured, you're going to see them sawing freaking heads off with that obsidian steel. And I'm here for all of that. I tell you, I just love it, man. Even when that execution happens to me, I'm going to be watching with my freaking mouth wide open like, oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. I mean, we've all been executed and we've all executed people. So it's really not that big of a deal. But it's just, man, it's just exciting. This is exciting times, man. I just love when a new hero, it's just got that new hero, new energy. And I'm just feeling it. I'm buzzing, man. I'm buzzing. I'm excited for y'all. Okay, so on to the next. So let's talk about his feats. Let's talk about Ocelotl's feats. I will say this tier 1 is so awesome. I just love the way it works. I do not think it's OP. I think it's definitely tactical. You'll be able to use it tactically. I think it will stink when you have 4 Ocelotls, on a team. It would kind of suck, especially if you do not get the execution. So anyway, let's just talk about it. So his tier 1 is where if you kill an Ocelotl and you don't execute them, then they come back. It's almost like it's their spirit comes back, and they can actually go anywhere on the map. They have 1 minute to go there, and then they can decide when they want to respawn. And they can respawn at a quarter health. They can respawn at full health, whatever they want to do. They can just go to any place on the map and respawn. It's so cool. I love it. Now, of course, when people start using it, I can see people saying this is ridiculous or whatever, because especially if they just come back and after the 8-second respawn timer, they decide, oh, I'm going to stay here and help out my teammate, because that can happen. That can happen. So that's going to be a challenge. So I think that's going to be something to monitor. But on the surface, I like the tier 1. I'm a fan of the tier 1, and we just got to see how it all works out in the end. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about that tier 1. Do you love it? Do you hate it? But I'll tell you one thing I do hate. That tier 2. The tier 2 is probably the worst tier 2 ever. It's like, why? This tier 2 does nothing to help you. So if you kill, from what I understood, and please you guys let me know if I'm wrong in this or if you understood it differently. But the way JC explained it, this tier 2, if you kill an Ocelotl, like you're an Ocelotl, you kill another Ocelotl, right? Once you kill them, you get seen where people can see where you are on the map, and you get a debuff for 15 seconds. How does that benefit you as an Ocelotl? Why is that even a thing? Why is that even a tier 2? It doesn't benefit you at all. Now, y'all let me know if y'all understood that differently. But you definitely get a debuff. Nobody else get a debuff. It's not like it's a debuff around. So let me know what you guys think about that. But I think that's whack, wiggity, wiggity, whack. That is horrible. Horrible tier 2. I would never use that tier 2 if that's how it is. Now, once we get it, I'm going to read it and try to understand it a little better. But right now, negatory on that tier 2. Now, the third feat I'm rocking with. Now, with this one, anytime let's say you kill a hero, you get a speed buff and you get an attack buff. That's what happens with that tier 3. Perfect. Perfect. That's how that should be. That's exactly how it should work. Definitely not that tier 2, but I'm not going to focus on that. So that's the tier 3. I'm good with that. I like that. I like the tier 4. It's especially good maybe if your teammate is getting ganked. Maybe your teammate's in a 2v1 situation and you run into a zone. This is a great tier 4 that you can bust out and you can just throw your spear, grab somebody, and pull them towards you. I love that. It does inflict bleed damage. It does about 32 bleed damage from what I saw. But the great thing about it is it pulls the enemy towards you and it puts them into an immediate guard break. So you get a heavy off of that. So that's a very good tier 4. And if you don't see the Ocelotl coming, you imagine if he has the tier 1, they just died, and then they just come to the zone to help a teammate. They come back, and then they have that tier 4, and you didn't see them because they came out of nowhere. Oh, that's the kind of stuff that's a beauty about this hero. When you start doing things like that, it's going to be frustrating for players for sure, but I like that. I like the fact that you can do that. So those are the feats for the Ocelotl. I don't like the tier 2. The tier 1's awesome. The tier 4 is good. The tier 3 is good. So I'm good with all of that, but the tier 2 needs some work. So let's go ahead and talk about the armor and the weapons. So the fashion that they have for the Ocelotl is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to rep up. You know, you always got to rep your hero up to, let's say, rep 8, rep 9, really, so you can get all the fashion that you want. So it's going to take some time before you get there. We just had a double XP weekend, so not going to get that anytime soon, right? But that's okay. That's okay. We're still going to have fun with it because we got a new hero to play with. So let's just have a blast with them. But as they were saying in the Warrior's Den, the armor's all natural. They just use more environmental things that they had at their disposal to create this, as it makes sense. But if you're just looking at it, because these weapons look great. They look great. And I'm big on like blue, as you see. That's even my logo. So I really like the blue. And I will be making a blue Ocelotl at some point in time. But that's really all I have for this one. What do you guys think about the Ocelotl? Do you guys like the armor and the weapons? What do you think of the feats? You like his out of lock? You like the executions? You like the moveset? Like the death whistle? Curious to know what you guys think about it. Let me know. Talk to me in the comments. I appreciate you guys checking out the video because I know you don't have to be here and you chose to be here. And I just want to let you guys know I appreciate you. I am a For Honor brother of yours, and I appreciate my For Honor sisters and brothers that check this out, even in curiosity. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. I don't know if it's going to be Undisputed or For Honor next or another game. I'm going to leave you with the correct pronunciation of Ocelotl's weapon, Macuahuitl. Now I know it says the English version is Macuahuitl or Macuahuitl, but the correct pronunciation is Macuahuitl, which makes me wonder, is it Ocelot instead of Ocelotl? I don't know. I guess I'm going down a rabbit hole. I've been here too long. But listen to this, and then I'm out. Until next time, peace.
Macuahuitl, Macuahuitl is how it is said. It's easy.